Hey gang, welcome back to J Daddy's Garage. As you can see, if you've been following along, you know my shop is under disassembly, reassembly right now. I am working on insulating the walls, finishing out the paneling, painting. You can see this side here is already done, and I need to do the rest of the shop that direction. But I still have commitments. Today's video, I'm going to paint a bumper cover for a 2007 Toyota Avalon. The paint code is ID4 or 1D4, I'm not sure how it's actually displayed. I believe it's ID4, which is a silver. Now this bumper cover is it's in this plastic, and this bumper cover was bought off of Amazon, and it came in a box where it was folded up. So about a week ago I unboxed it and left it sit in the shop to try to relax and get into a normal position so that I can not be concerned with any kind of bends or anything like that. But this color on this it's already primed and it is black. So what I intend to do, because I'm going to paint this silver, which I will say I've only bought 1 pint of material to paint this, but that pint becomes a quart because you mix it 1-to-1 with the reducer. But what I plan to do, I'm not going to use any sealer, and I'm not going to use more primer. I've done that before in other videos. I'm going to use some old paint that I have just to, let's say, cover the black and lighten up the color shade, so that when I spray the silver, it's not fighting with the color of the black, if that makes sense. You know, it's a big transition to go from black to a light color or silver or white or something like that. So I'm going to use another paint that I have, some leftover, coat the bumper, and then spray it with the silver, and then of course clear coat it, and hopefully everything goes smooth. Now, this, again, the shop is a mess, so I'm going to just show you what's going on at this point. As I said, I've already done this section, but I have all of this stuff out that normally goes up against that wall and rides all the way back to the back section of the shop. So my cabinets are away from the wall and everything else. What I have done is I have cleaned out the booth, and I moved the Mustang out of here that I had in here, and so I swept it all out and cleaned it all out. So I'm letting the temperature kind of get comfortable in here. Currently it's about 60 degrees, a little cooler than I want it to be for painting, but hopefully I can get it warm enough that I can spray and not have a problem. And this is the bumper cover. As you can see, it is a very large bumper cover. It says it right on here, it is CAPA certified, which I prefer over other products because CAPA means that it should 99% fit the car that it's made for. So in looking it over, nice condition. I don't see any major flaws or deep scratches or anything like that. Looks like it's going to be a good panel. I do see a couple small areas where it may have been nicked or something. There's a little shiny spot right there, and another little, where did I see it? A little something right here, but I think that'll all go away. It's not, I can't even feel it with my finger, like my fingernail. So what I plan to do, hit this with gray Scotch-Brite, go over the whole thing, clean it, and get it in the paint booth and try to get some paint on it. So as you saw, I scuffed it all down with the gray Scotch-Brite, and then I cleaned it with Windex. Now, you may want to use something from your paint rep. If they tell you to use a different product, go ahead and use it. But I'm happy with Windex. Now it has all the little scratches that I need, and I will wipe it down one more time with wax and grease remover just to make sure there's nothing on it. You will notice I do have contact here with the stand. That's a very little spot, a very small spot. And on this side, what I did was I put some paint caps underneath to catch the backside of the bumper cover, because this is exposed more. You'll see this when you open a trunk lid. The other side, you won't see that. You have to crawl underneath the car to see it. Now, the only way to get around that is to have a bumper stand, or what we used to use was a bumper thing, they called it. And it's an apparatus that you can clamp this thing in, put it in a level position, and it doesn't give you that kind of contact area. But I don't have one of those, and I don't plan to get one very soon, so this is what I'm using. I know I've shown this before, but I'm going to show it again. I'm using PPS cups by 3M. It is a hollow container. There's a hole in the bottom, and you put a liner inside of it. It has a scale that you can measure out what you're going to use. I'm going to be mixing 1 to 1. The top of this has a screen inside, so this cap goes on like this, and then a ring clamps it down. And if you want to store it, you can put this little plug right here in the top, and all of this will connect to the top of your paint gun, but you'll have to get the adapter for that. I'm using my old HVLP. I've had a problem with the Black Widow, so I'm using my old standby gun, so that'll be used for the paint. And then the clear coat, I'm not sure yet if I'll use my DeVilbiss or if I'll use my other top coat Black Widow gun, which is still working. I may use this to do top coat. But before I get too far ahead of myself, I will be using leftover paint from the Honda project. This will be kind of like my primer sealer to change the color of the black. And then this stuff here is ID4, 1D4, I'm not sure what the number is. And it's 1 pint, but they put it in a quart can. And then I will reduce it with MR187 slow reducer. I'm putting on my respirator so I don't breathe the fumes. Okay, so maybe that wasn't the best idea. I had problems with that paint adhering to that bumper cover, and I haven't had an issue like that before. I did not film what had happened, but it almost like bubbled in a way. It was very strange. Again, I have not had that reaction. So what I did is I took all that back off. Some of it I wiped off with lacquer thinner, which affected the primer that was on the bumper cover. And then I came back and I sprayed it with my 2K high build primer. So let me show you what it looks like. So like I was saying, on the sides here, the top area, it turned out really nice with that color. But down here in this area, it kind of almost just, it was sagging or runny. It was really strange. I've never seen paint do that before. So I just decided, you know what, I should have just gone with the high build, or if I'd use a regular sealer, which I don't have any on hand. But in this case, I put a couple coats of high build on it. I'm going to let this sit overnight, and then I will, prep sand it and hopefully be able to spray the color and the clear coat tomorrow, as long as the temperatures maintain where they're at right now. Big panel, you know, really big panel. And what I'm thinking of doing, honestly, is I talked about it on my live stream tonight or today, because I don't want the metallics, when you spray paint, the metallics tend to lay a certain way based on the panel. Ideally, this should be upright, because you want to spray it as if it was on the car, not the way it's hanging right now. Even if I sprayed the panel like this with the color, the metallics are going to want to lay downward. Gravity's going to pull them down. So what I'm thinking of trying to do is using my overhead rails for my door and just suspend it. Bring it over here in this middle area and run some wires off of my railing and just hold it up, because I have access holes. I've got these here, which are hidden, and I've got these down here, and that'll support it. So I think I might try to do that. Well, I must say, the primer laid out really nice. I'll probably go over it with some Scotch-Brite, just in case there's any dust nibs or anything like that, and then I'll get it in the booth and get some paint on it. Well, I think this is going to work. It may not be the most efficient way to do this, but I don't have the bumper thing, and I kind of want it to hang like it's on the car. So that's what I'm going to do. I have wiped it down, so I'm going to mix up some paint and start spraying. So there I have the paint on. I did put multiple coats on, and I checked it with the sunlight that I have, and I wanted to make sure I had good coverage. And then I also did kind of a light overspray, let's say, just to make sure that everything kind of had the same metallic layout, and it looks good. I'm very happy with it. I'm happy that I hung this thing up as well. I think it's going to turn out fine. Now I'm going to mix up some clear coat and spray it. Clear coat I'm using is this Spot Panel Clear from U-Pole, and it mixes up 4:1. I don't need to show you that. You just basically put in 4 parts of this and 1 part of this, mix it together, and you're ready to spray. All right, there it is. Doesn't look too bad. Only piece of trash that I found was right there. And it's barely noticeable. I don't know if you can even see that. Just a little tiny something there. So at this point, I need to let it finish airing out and drying. And then I'll have to get the car over here and swap out some things. Obviously, it has the lights for the license plate go up here. That should be pretty easy to swap out, but I'm pretty happy with it. You know, I was a little concerned initially with the problems that I had, and I think the idea, of course, of hanging it up made it even better. I did hold up the other panel, and even though it's filthy, with all the road debris and junk on it. The color is actually pretty close. I know you really can't tell in here with this light and stuff, but I think it'll be fun in this car. I think this cover is actually, I think the one that was on it was a replacement cover prior, so this shouldn't really matter that much. All right, that'll be the end of this video. I hope you found some good information, maybe some useful information that it can help you with your project if you're considering trying to do something like this. Don't try to take shortcuts. You know, I thought I could do myself a favor and use the other paint, but it just didn't work out. So get the sealer or the primer on there, sand it out. If you need to, even though my primer laid out really nice, you may have to sand over it with like 400. Get it smooth, and then go over it again with Scotch-Brite just to take care of any little or like high spots, you know, like where the corners are. So you might want to do that as well. But otherwise, I'm done with this. Hopefully I can get this on the car soon. I still have a lot of work to do in the garage, and that is my next priority, or my main priority. So anyway, that'll be the end of this video. Leave a comment, leave a thumbs up, let me know what you think about this, and until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.